So there's going to be many times there's going to be machloket in the Torah, and this is part of the reason why we have each person has to pick a tradition that they're connected to. There's a mitzvah in the Torah that you must follow the Torah of your father. Listen to the Torah of your father, follow the Torah of your father. So if you're Ashkenazi, you follow the Ashkenazi customs. If you're Sephardi, you follow the Sephardi customs. Now, there are some that say that you can change at one point in your life if you want, but you cannot go back and forth. You can't like pick Rav Ovadia's psak here and the Chafetz Chaim over here. You can't do that. Can't go back and forth. So you have to go by the psak of your tradition, and sometimes the poskim agree. He says no, he says no, he says yes, he says yes, and sometimes they disagree. So, but that's not always because of tradition. That's not always because of Ashkenazi and Sfaradi. Sometimes, for example, it's both Sfaradi disagree or both Ashkenazi disagree. So, for example, your example is about milk and dairy and fish. Dairy and fish. To my knowledge, Rav Ovadia allowed it, dairy and fish. Had leniency, allowed it, but the Ben Ish Chai went against it heavily. So we follow that you're allowed. But some people that I know follow the Ben Ish Chai, says not allowed. Says not allowed. But it's both Sfaradi. Ben Ish Chai is Sfaradi, Rav Ovadia is Sfaradi. Why? Because both study the Torah in a certain way, and they arrived at that emet, that this is the truth and this is the truth. Same thing happens sometimes between Ashkenazi and Sfaradi, where the Ashkenazim say, let's say, rice is forbidden on Pesach because it's they say it's kitniot from a tradition they have from hundreds of years ago. But the Sfaradim never had this issue. It's not kitniot. You're allowed to eat it on Pesach. But there are some Sfaradim, like the Moroccan Jews, that are Sfaradim, that follow the Ashkenazi custom. Why? Because the Moroccan Chachamim follow the same tradition, even though again they're also Sfaradim. So it's not always Ashkenazi Sephardi. Sometimes it's Ashkenazi, sometimes it's Sephardi, and there's disagreements. So that's why everyone has to have at least 2, maybe 3 main rabbis in their life, that they follow everything they say. 1, posek. If you're a Sfaradi, usually that's Rav Ovadia. I know a few people that follow the Ben Ish Chai, but more the general tradition in the world is that everyone that's Sfaradi, generally speaking, follows Rav Ovadia. There are some that follow others, and some even that follow, for example, the Rambam. Only the Rambam. And, if they have Chachamim that explain to them how to apply the Rambam to today's world, but nonetheless, most Sfaradim in the world follow Rav Ovadia. So, if you do that, fine, you follow pretty much everything he says. Everything he says, not just sometimes what he says. Where is this a problem? You have some people that call themselves Sephardis, that are proud of their Sephardi tradition, but all of a sudden, when it comes to wigs, they follow a different Chacham. They don't follow Rav Ovadia. They'll find some other Chacham from Ashkenaz that told them that wigs are allowed, even though he never said the wigs of today are allowed. What is that? The Gemara in Masechet Rosh Hashanah says, someone that looks for the stringencies of Bet Shammai and the stringencies of Bet Hillel is like a fool that's blind walking in darkness. But someone that's looking for the leniencies of Bet Shammai and the leniencies of Bet Hillel, Rashau. Meaning, if someone is always looking to be machmir, only the most stringency, Gemara says you're an idiot, you're a chamor. Who asked you to be machmir? Just do what you're supposed to, that's it, enough. Only do extra when you can. Not everything dafka extra. You don't have to do that. You're chamor. Why? You're going to make the Torah ugly that way. Torah told you to be modest. Everything you're wearing, you're covering your face. Who told you to cover your face? Torah told you to eat certain foods. All of a sudden, you are living off of carobs, like Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai in a Me'ara. Who told you to live like this? People go too extreme. Gemara says, chamor. Who told you to do that? Who told you to be machmir on everything, be stringent on everything? Do what you're supposed to. Rabbi says allowed, it's allowed. Oh, maybe he's a... Oh, you're smarter than the rabbi? Go. Go to Christianity. Do me a favor. Go. Go! Why? We follow that Torah, not what sounds good to you. Even if you think you're righteous because of stringencies, doesn't make you righteous, makes you a fool. There are sometimes you should be stringent. But if you're stringent on everything the Gemara says, you're chamor. Donkey. Gemara says on the other hand, he's only looking for whoever's lenient. Whenever Bet Shammai is lenient, he goes with him. Whenever Bet Hillel is lenient, he goes with him. He says, Rashahu. He's a Rasha, this guy. Why? He's just looking to get out of jail. He's just looking for any way that he could just give away the Torah to somebody else. He's a Rasha, this guy. So a person needs to know. You have to have a posek. What he says is what he says. If you're Sfaradi, you follow Rav Ovadia, you have to follow everything Rav Ovadia says. Unless Rav Ovadia himself writes, you can follow someone else on this specific halacha. So whether you're this one or that one, you have to make sure you have a psak and you follow at all costs. So all of the Sfaradim that say they follow the Yalkut Yosef, they follow the Yabia Omer, the Rav Ovadia books and the Sons books and so on, you can't wear a wig. There's no leniency to wear a wig. Forget about the idol worship part. Rabbi Ovadia was against the wig in all counts. He spoke against it so much. He says that a avrech that wants his wife to wear a wig, and he's only going to go out with her if she wears a wig, he says he's a rasha like doeg adomi. And even his Torah is going to go is worth nothing. Worth nothing. The guy could learn from here till Gehenom. It's not nothing worth nothing. Why? That's how much Rabbi Ovadia was against wigs. He brought over 120 poskim that showed throughout history it's not allowed to wear wigs. And you're saying you're following Rabbi Ovadia and still wearing a wig? From what planet? Yeah, but this rabbi says it's allowed. Yeah, but you don't follow him. You can't choose here, choose there. That's posek. Same thing with Ashkenazim. There's certain things the Chacham says, that's it, you got to stick to it. Unless that Chacham says you have something to rely on when it comes to leniencies on this. But there's certain things that the Chachamim themselves say. Listen, this is my opinion on it. This is what I paskind. But there are some Chachamim that say otherwise, and you can listen to them also. Why? Zeh v'zeh divrei Elokim chaim. Both this and this are words of the living God. Meaning, it's not black and white. Hashem didn't make this right and this wrong in everything. Sometimes they're both right, even though they're opposites. They're both words of the living God. Sometimes both are right. But it's only right when you followed it because it's Da'at Torah, because the Chacham said it, not because it made sense to you to follow it. If you only followed it because it made sense to you, Rashau. Yeah, but I made the right decision. He's the Chacham. Yeah, but you didn't follow because of the Chacham. You followed because it made sense to you. Like the dog, it made sense to him to go look inside the fridge to look for food. It made sense to him. That's how you acted. It doesn't work like that in Torah. You follow that Torah. So you have a Chacham. You have a posek, that's who you go after. 2, you have to have a local rabbi. You go to a shul, you pray there. This is mainly for men. Women, as I've said, based on the doubt of the Gaon Mivilna and many other Chachamim, like Rav Ovadia did not even have a women's section in his shul. Why? Women should not go to shul. Bottom line, stay home. Take care of yourself, take care of your family. There's nothing for you to do in shul. You want to pray? Pray at home. Why? Because the reality is the women's section and the vast majority of shuls, it's only chit-chatting and Lashon Hara. So why go to shul to make sins? For what? Didn't you go to shul to make mitzvot? You're going to make sins. And if it's not you making sins, everybody else making sins, and you're getting aggravated that they're making sins, and you're not happy about going there anyway. What did you go to shul for? You want to pray at home, no one's going to bother you. That's what the Gaon Mivilna said to his own wife. Don't go to shul. Ever. Some women, no, I'm going to dafka go to shul, and you see the woman going to nets. I saw it sometimes. I go to shul, and you see a woman shows up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I said, Hashem Yishmor. Poor husband. Poor husband she has. She's not even home at 6 o'clock in the morning. She thinks she's an avrich at the shul praying at 6 o'clock in the morning. Who asked you to pray at 6 o'clock in the morning? No, this is righteousness. Who says righteousness? Who says righteousness? Show me one. Show me Sarah Yemenu going to shul at 6 o'clock in the morning. Show me. In reality, you know where it comes from? Gava. Arrogance. That's where it comes from. Vast majority, not always. Vast majority, arrogant. She wants to show that she could be like the men. She wants to be, she could do it too. Why only the men are going to shul at 6 o'clock in the morning? I can do it. No problem. The Reshit Chochmah, Masechet Gehinom, has a story about a woman like that. She used to tell everybody about the fasts she used to make. She used to fast for days at a time. Tzadikah, Kisui Rosh and everything. Mitpachat, not wig. Mitpachat, she used to fast, go, pray, everything. Hey, listen, no, I can't eat today. I'm sorry, thank you. The cake looks delicious, honey. It looks delicious, but I'm fasting. You know, Fashem, for the Shekhinah. She starts crying to him. It's the middle of the afternoon, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, she starts crying. What? Reshit Chochmah says, Gehenom. What they do with her, they used her ear as the door stopper in Gehenom. Mamash, it says what it says in the Reshit Chochmah. It says why? Everything she did was to tell people about it. It didn't come lishma. It didn't come for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. She didn't fast for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. She fasted to tell everybody else, I'm more righteous than you. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Zegava srucha. It's disgusting. Who needs this fast? Who asked you to fast? You want everybody to hear you? We're going to use your ear as the door. We're going to, That's what Mamash writes about it. I didn't make this up. You can see it yourself if you want. You can see it yourself. That's how much HaKadosh Baruch Hu hates Gava. He hates arrogance. He hates it. Mitzvot, silence. Righteousness, silence. Big maasim, big actions, good things, quiet. Unless you're trying to get other people to do it. Then it's a mitzvah to publicize it. But you're telling people to fast, no one's going to just follow you because you're fasting. Telling people that you're praying at 6 o'clock in the morning, no one's going to follow you because you're praying at 6 o'clock in the morning, Habibi. They want to sleep till 8 at least. You're lucky if they show up to 9 o'clock minyan. What are you telling them that you're praying every day at 6 o'clock in the morning? You're a big hero. For what? To make them feel bad about themselves? So that's what a person needs to know. Kadosh Baruch Hu doesn't like Gava. Local rabbi that you have to make sure you pray for men. Go pray local rabbi. Sometimes that local rabbi also happens to be a Talmid Chacham. You could ask him questions. If he has Yirat Shamayim and he knows Torah, I tell you where he got the answer, you could ask him questions too. Listens to his shurim, he can even become your rabbi. Sometimes he's not your rabbi. Sometimes he just uses shul as a place to pray. He has 10 kosher people in there or more. Baruch Hashem. Then you have the third rabbi, which is the most important, which is the mashpia. The one that's going to influence you. The one you're going to learn all of his Torah. The one that you're going to read every book he wrote. The one that you're going to watch every shiur. The one you're going to ask him all the questions. The one that's going to know everything about you. Including the ugly stuff. In fact, especially the ugly stuff. Because that's the real stuff. That's your rabbi. But that means you're going to learn everything he says and listen to everything he says. Now, most people are very happy to have number one. Sometimes. Number two, all the time. It's easy to get a local rabbi. It's like a 7-Eleven. Every corner has one. But the mashpia, no, I have a few that I listen to, Rabbi. I have a few. I ask him questions. Sometimes people are special. You know, they want to give me a tikkun for the day. You know what they do? They ask me a question, a tough one. I have to go look it up. I have to go look at a book. I have to ask Rabbi Ephraim, double check this, that, and yeah. I work on a question for a half hour, 40 minutes, an hour, just to get them an answer. Finally, you get them an answer. Oh, don't worry, Rabbi. I already got the answer from Rabbi Mizrahi. Oh, no, I already got the answer from Rabbi such and such. So why did you ask me? No, usually I send my questions to 2, 3, 4 rabbis at a time. You know what happens to them with me? Delete. No more questions asked. Why? You're wasting my time. You're shopping around. Shopping around, don't shop around with me. Not because of arrogance, chas v'shalom. You have enough. If you're already at a level you could shop around, Go shop somewhere else. I got people that don't have options. I have people that I'm the only one they're in touch with. I have to deal with them. You have enough. You're Baruch Hashem Ashir. You're rich with rabbis. You have a few. Go to them, Habibi. Go to them. I have poor people. I have people that only have one rabbi. I have to deal with them. Start sending 5 different rabbis, 4 different rabbis, questions. Go somewhere else. Why? Because what's going to happen is, at the very best case scenario, confusion. Best case scenario. Why? One rabbi is going to give you an answer based on halacha. Another rabbi is going to give you an answer based on knowing you. A third rabbi doesn't know the answer, but he feels bad. He doesn't know the answer, but he's going to throw something out there. Before you know it, you got shakshuka. So what do? You just do whatever you want. Do me a favor, don't include me in that list. Please. Please. I already have enough problems in my life. I have enough problems. I don't want to be partner to your sins. I already have enough to fix. Please, go shop around somewhere else. There's supermarkets, there's Winn-Dixie, there's Walmart, there's whatever you want. Don't go to me. Why? Don't do me any favors. Takes time to answer questions. It's not like people think, it's like Rabbi Google, you just type it in and it doesn't work that way. It takes time. So please, if you're going to have a mashpia, stick to him. Listen to everything he says, follow everything he says, that's it. That's the third rabbi. Sometimes, like I said, it's 2 rabbis, sometimes it's 3, but does that mean that you can't listen to anybody else? No, it doesn't mean that. You can listen to 2 speakers, maybe even 3 if you're really, really bright. I don't recommend it. I don't recommend you listening to more than 2 speakers, because people have too different of a shita to listen to all of them and really still get da'at Torah in the end. But let's say if you're a smart person, you're a pikeach, you can handle the different strategies and understand how to utilize the best of all, okay, fine, no problem. But once you start getting to these people that they listen to 5, 6 different speakers, those people end up burim v'amei aratzot. Complete ignoramuses. Why? They don't know what's real da'at Torah. They just know he says this sometimes. He says this all the time. He doesn't really say. He's a philosopher. He's an astronaut. He's a doctor sometimes. He's a lord. He's a doctor. He's all types of things. By the time you finished, you have YMCA. Don't make the Torah more difficult than it needs to be. Find somebody that motivates you. Find somebody that inspires you. Find somebody that you can ask him some questions. Find the posek, that's what you follow. Learn those books. Learn those shurim. Do everything you possibly can. Bezrat Hashem, you'll get to Gan Eden. You don't do it, I'm sorry, I won't be able to help you very much once after this world.